Hello. So, from all the adrenaline last time, I didn't actually I didn't actually discuss the Orphan of Kos, did I? Kos, who has an eerily human face, or some say Cosm, along with the transformed inhabitants of the fishing hamlet were discovered by the scholars of Bergenworth. After she washed up ashore, the villagers worshipped her and began cultivating phantasms, altered cosmic parasites which grew inside of her. It has an incredibly cool design. The scholars of Bergenworth, along with Lady Maria and German, they began to slaughter the villagers. To investigate these transformations, they'd cut open their skulls, looking for eyes on the inside. Not much is known about the acts that they performed, but it's stated that the villagers, the scholars, and the hunters, they desecrated Kos. And as we discussed at the end of the last episode, her spiteful will lingered, casting them all into the hunter's nightmare as punishment for what they did. The poor wizened child of Kos, as he was referred to in the game, the Orphan of Kos, it's pretty mysterious about what exactly it is or where it came from. Given its name, it's pretty easy to speculate that it is in fact Kos's infant, but we've been told already that Great One's children are stillborn, and they require a surrogate. It's also unknown why killing Kos has lifted this curse. It's stated that the child has returned to the ocean though, so maybe killing its corporeal form has freed it from the nightmare and it's returned to the cosmos of Kos. Causing it to lift the curse, we'll never truly know. In terms of the actual boss fight though, I've actually been scared of it this whole time. I was dreading it through the whole playthrough because I've only ever fought it once before, and I was hard stuck on it for absolutely hours. So I'm pretty happy with how with how the last episode turned out. I absolutely love it though. It's such a cool boss. I love its design. I love the sounds that it makes. Especially, you know, when it screams and cries up into the air. It sounds almost like a bestial scream and a child's cry, both at the same time. They really nailed the feeling of absolute despair that the orphan was probably experiencing in that moment. From Software, they're just god tier at this kind of thing. So in terms of a boss fight, the thing about the Orphan of Kos is that it's an incredibly intimidating boss. The way it sounds and the way that it leaps around and how it's just constantly on you, it's by far the most aggressive enemy in the game. It makes it feel like you just can't get an opening to attack or to heal. But the openings are there, you just need to not panic. Which it's easier said than done when, you know, the whole boss fight is designed to elicit panic and sack thing out of you. So you have to stay calm, you have to watch his movements. Wait for the inevitable opening when you can heal or get an attack in. I just stop breathing when I'm fighting him, it's just so stressful. I find in phase 1 though, he is pretty manageable once you get over the initial shock of how aggressive he can be. There are plenty of openings, so I don't really have much of a problem with phase 1, but in phase 2, when he just becomes absolutely hyper-aggressive, that's always the challenge for me. At that point, during phase 2, I find it better just to drop the lock on, because in this game, dodge rolls, they throw you further than the dashes that you get when you're locked on. And you kind of need that, because the only place that you're safe and the only reliable way of getting a hit in is when you're behind him. You can parry him as well, but man, fuck even trying to do that. It's by far the hardest boss in the game. By far. But we do have 2 more bosses to go that aren't exactly pushovers either. But before we do that, we kept getting invaded by this dude, didn't we? I'm not actually sure where he is, but There's a dude who kept invading us, isn't it? I think it's about time we sort this guy out. Here he is again! No healing! I hate how you hit his sword. You like hit his mace. It's annoying. Stop it! That's the wrong button. I can't get near him. Got stuck there too. It's an awkward place to fight him. Rador's testimony. Where are you? Are you like down here? Around here somewhere. I think he's in here. There he is. Alright, I've had enough of you.
Well, look who's here. Nothing changes. Such is the nature of man.
Get all philosophical on me. You tried to kill me like 6 times. I missed the weapon. I was expecting that to be the all weapons trophy. I've missed a weapon from somewhere, I think. I have to look that up. I have to do that now. Can't leave a weapon behind. Like the last trophy I need for the whole thing, so we'll try and get it. What have you got? Let's look it up. I don't remember. Do we have the amygdalan arm? Do we have the beast hunter scythe? I think we do have that. We do. We have the beast cutter? We do. Bloodletter we just got. Boom hammer. I'm pretty sure we got that. Yep. Church pick we have. Holy moonlight sword we have. Cost parasite. Have the Rikuyo. Have Diamond's bow blade we have. And the whirligig saw we have. We have them all. Church cannon. I think we're missing the piercing rifle. Church cannon, Gatling gun. 2 more. The lock shield and the piercing rifle. Let's go get them. Purchasable at the messenger bath after acquiring a firing hammer badge. I think we have that, so need to head back anyway. I did miss the lock shield. I forget exactly where it is, but a piercing rifle is essentially a gun blade. With a spear instead of a sword. That's purchasable from these boys, apparently. And we just need the lock shield, I think. I believe it's in the research hall. We might as well do this. We've done everything else now, so... Might take me a while to find, though. Flip plop. How high up would it even be? That's the real question. Do I need to go down that hidden path? Did the second one has a hidden path, I think. Are you over here, maybe? See any items? Lock shield, where are you? Um... I know it's on like a platform somewhere, if I remember correctly. I remember there being a platform from yesterday that I was trying to get to. I had an item on it. There, I think that's it. Oh, it's not that hard to get to. There we go, lock shield. Hooray! 500% completed Bloodborne. Not in this playthrough, like over multiple playthroughs, but I did it! 100% completion, I'm happy. An artisanal shield crafted with blue glass. Originally used to safeguard the leader presiding over a sacred healing church ceremony, and later supplied to tomb prospectors, in particular those exploring the labyrinth of Is. The blue is fashioned after a lake, given its name, Loch is Gaelic for lake, and the shield greatly reduces all forms of non-physical damage. It's an actual useful shield that would have been handy against the living failures when they killed me. Let's leave. So, we need to talk about one more thing. We need to talk about the Hunter's Dream before we wrap this up. This is going to be a short episode, by the way. I've only really got one more thing to do. Or two more bosses. Just get to my explainy stone. There we go. So, the thing about the Hunter's Dream, we've heard about Murgo, born into the nightmare of Mensis, whose birth we've stopped already. We've heard about the formless Udin, whose surrogate child was born and killed beneath the chapel. We've heard about Abricius, who was left behind and hidden away up in the upper cathedral ward. And we've learned about Cos, who was defiled and cursed all of the hunters into an endless nightmare. But there is actually another great one that we've heard a brief mention of. Who the doll was praying to. Remember when the doll was praying? Here? She was praying there. She was praying to Flora, who has trapped Gehrman and ourselves in this hunter's dream. Flora, the moon presence, the pale moon. That thing. That is not the moon. Or I guess it is the moon, but that's the pale moon, that's the moon presence. Only those chosen by pale moon are able to access the hunter's dream. And only those that can access the hunter's dream are those that are reborn again and again and again into the hunt. Remember the opening cutscene to the game? Where we receive blood ministration and a beast appears before us trying to get near us, and then we hear the doll say, "Ah, so you found yourself a hunter," as the messengers appear to save us from being corrupted by the beast scourge. And then we're told to seek pale blood as we are transported into this hunter's dream. Created by Flora. For what purpose? Well, we've seen what happens to those who try to ascend themselves to fully understand the gods, haven't we? It's probably best we just leave that alone. We'll never know why, and what the hunter's dream's actually for. So, Gehrman was the first hunter who contacted Flora after his despair over Lady Maria's suicide and the guilt that he felt about the things that they did in the fishing hamlet. He, along with Lawrence, procured a cord of the eye, a third umbilical cord, and made contact with the pale moon. A deal was made, and like Mikolash, Gehrman became the host of the dream and aided future hunters brought to the dream by Flora. This is where Gehrman awaits, trapped, for Lawrence to find a way to rescue him, but the workshop's fallen apart, and Lawrence has since been transformed into a beast and slain, his skull left on display down in the Grand Cathedral, leaving Gehrman trapped, and it's been so long now. So all that's left to do is heed the doll's word and go to Gehrman, who is awaiting for us at the foot of the great tree. But before we do that, we have some third umbilical cords of our own that we should use. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's beat this game. That's not to say that this guy's easy either. Gehrman is not a pushover, and neither is the boss after him.
Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream.
So there are three endings to this game, and here's where we pick two of them. We can now submit to Gehrman's execution, after which we'll awaken in Yharnam to a sunrise, and the night of the hunt is over until next time. We can also refuse, fight, and kill Gehrman, at which point we will see Flora, and through her influence will take Gehrman's place as the host of the hunter's dream. To shepherd new hunters through endless new nights of the hunt. Or we can refuse after having consumed 3/3 umbilical cords.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gehrman joins the hunt.
Because of our insight, we've managed to resist the influence of Flora. That was easier than I remember.
are you called? Oh, good hunter.
We've ascended to become a newborn great one, and the plain doll will be our caretaker. The end. Oh, I'm so glad that I was asked to play this for the channel. Bloodborne is... What can you even say about Bloodborne? It's one of my favourite games, hands down. It's... It's probably one of the most compelling games I've ever played. I've beaten this dozens upon dozens of times over the years, and it just never gets old. I love playing it, and I love talking about its story and its lore. It's so densely packed. It's such a dense game, and it's so well done. Like, I personally think that Sekiro is From Software's best game to date, but Bloodborne just ekes it out as my favourite because of the world building. What I wouldn't give for Sony to patch this for PS5 or release a PC port that runs better. I complained a lot early on about its frame rate, and not so much later on, because you do really get used to the frame rate. But it just kind of sucks that you have to get used to it at all to really enjoy it. It would not be accurate to say that this game runs well, but it does basically every single other thing so well that I'm able to look past it and enjoy it all the same. I've absolutely adored digging into this game over the years and trying to figure out exactly what's going on and create a timeline of events in my mind, and each time I replay it I notice something else that fleshes the timeline out just a little bit more. There are things I'd probably change around a little bit that I've talked about throughout the playthrough, but they're all nitpicks at best. I love this game. If it wasn't for Final Fantasy being such a major part of my life, I think I could easily and safely say that this is top one. This is top one favourite game of all time. It does everything that I love. The difficulty and the challenge are perfect. I really, really like Souls gameplay anyway, and the story and the world building are god tier. The horror elements are fascinating, and the sound design and animation are some of the best in the industry. This this game is the best of them. It deserves every bit of the huge amount of praise that it gets. Like, this era of From Software, from Demon Souls to Elden Ring, it's just been glorious, hasn't it? They don't miss. They've showed us time and time again why they are the best in the business. There's so much you can read from this game from a philosophical standpoint too that I haven't even gotten into, like the moon symbolism, all the feminine horror that you can infer from it. Maybe someday I'll do another playthrough and talk about it through that lens too. Until then though, I look forward to seeing you in the next thing. Bye bye!